All right, so I found a little bit quicker way how to get the charcoal into a paste that's good enough. It's still damp, but we're going to kind of accelerate our video. 'Cause there's some people out there that might want to do something. So this is a sock. It was clean. I put the charcoal into the sock, hit it with a rock a lot until it mushed flat, got it into a paste good enough to work with. Now, what you're going to need is a t-shirt that you can spare a 5-inch by 5-inch piece of material out of. And that's roughly what I've got here. Now, um, still working on some random ideas of how to make this work. So bear with me as I try to come up with a solution without damaging my iPad or the stuff I'm working with. So I'm going to use the video screen again as my area of work, which kind of messes with you a little bit. Now, it's not necessary. I've got this finished end, but I want to trim that off. And remind you, this is for a charcoal filter cartridge. You're still trying to get to the point of building a filter. So far in the videos, we have taken the, the dry, which is calcium chloride, and made a solution. The solution in water from a sealed water bottle. Watch the video, a little bit of humor there. What to do with the extra water you take out. Now, I've got a piece of material. Now notice it's not square. I'm doing this as if we're doing what we can with what we have available, and this is exactly what I'm doing here. So don't focus on being perfection. Focus on getting the task done. This is your air, your life, your family's air, your family's life, and you can't buy a filter. You're trying to make one. There's some things going to happen that are going to need to happen to make a filter. So, got the paste. Now remember, it is damp. It is technically now a version of activated charcoal. I am going to try to neatly, and notice this isn't going to be a perfect process either. You're just trying to get a filter made. And I'm going to tell you, this filter being damp is not what you want. But you're in a hurry. You're going to make the filter. You're trying to get a step out of the way. You might have to throw this in the sun or do something with it. Now, this paste is not perfect. Again, you want to make it as fine as possible, but you want a layer of protection, something more than you got. So I know that what I got right there is enough that I can manipulate the material, roll it up, bring this back into frame. All I'm trying to do is roll it up. Okay. Now, we know that at the end it's trying to come out, so you want to work that in. Because the whole idea is to make a sealable material, right? So you're going to fold that end in. Now, for video's sake, not because it's very effective, but because it'll help you see what's going on, I'm going to do the other side identical. Now granted, you can do this all a little more thorough. This is the basics to get you going. So I've folded two ends with charcoal in it, and now I'm folding over this end. This is the basis of getting a filter. Now, I'm getting ready to do something that's going to surprise you, and at the same time you're going to be like, well, how's this going to work? Trust me, it works. This is a step you got to do. Bear with me, I'll be right back. Now, the next item on your list is duct tape. I guess if they don't have the filter, they got the tape. You can buy the tape and you'll be all right. More humor. Just kidding. Please, nobody come after me for that. I'm just trying to lighten the situation a little bit. So, I know how long this is, so I'm going to go just a little bit longer. Duct tape normally don't need a knife. Now, that's really wide. We know that's too wide. So we're going to tear maybe, let's say a little better than a half an inch. And we're going to place that right at the seam with a slight overlap, both sides. Now, we've got that big piece of tape yet, right? All right. So we know it's too much tape, but we need basically about half on each side. So again, not trying to be perfect. We're just trying to build a filter. So we're taping the seams. Now this is just to get a workable piece. Okay, this is not final progression on the filter. In fact, this is where the part of how's that going to work comes out in the filter process. Tape at least as long as the filter body that you're making. Flip it over and tape it. Now, if anybody's seen a military mask, you'll know that you don't have a great big huge filter. You got a small filter. We aren't lucky enough to have the materials to make the small cartridge, and I suppose if you really wanted to, another item that you could use if you have it readily available is a coffee filter to help make your filter. But we're under the assumption that we don't have a lot to work with. Okay. Now, we have taped up two ends. And now we're going to go to where it's going to be at least half again. And tape up the very end. And when you're done, as you can tell, there's going to be overlap or something you're going to have to do. This is just to get you a filter. Not having a direct path straight across may be a good thing. Mine sort of does, but we're trying to make a filter, right? Now, If you have a free hand and you're just trying to get out, I'm going to make this filter a little more defined, because you want to restrict the airflow a little. Okay. So, big hole on the outside, little hole on the inside. Now let me flip this around. Oh, bear with me. Like I said, it's not a professional video. Here's your filter. Okay. There's your nose. Air comes through. It's a little funky, but it's filtered air through an activated charcoal filter. Now, again, this is still wet, so we want this to dry. So the idea is to get that to dry. Then, what you're going to do is, you need a mask. You want it to cover your nose. So you're going to have to build the top part of the nose mask. Thankfully, and here you go. You have duct tape. All right, again, I'm using substandard methods here to try to get a video done. I've got a stand somewhere, no idea where it's at, and don't know if it'll work for this new iPad, but this is where we're at. So I'm going to take and cut or tear a piece of tape. Now, I know that I'm trying to still breathe, but I need to build an area that's going to go up over my nose as well. Now, I mean, you could literally duct tape this thing to your face. I mean, you don't care what you look like. You don't care what's going on. You're just trying to survive, right? So, not bad. I can still breathe. Now, you build your mask to conform to your face. You need to be clean shaved. You need to get rid of all this. Be clean shaved. You're going to make your mask to the best of your ability. You got your charcoal paste in there. You got whatever you need to make that happen, right? If you notice that the filter ain't quite doing what you want it to do, you can work on compressing that paste a little bit better. It's something better than a bandana. That's all it is. So what we're trying to do is make a mask that'll get you by. So conform to your nose, conform to your face. And this is where, if you don't have the methods to do it, you need to find some help, because you need to seal this. So what I'm going to say to do, and this is up to you, if you've got the time, you want to build a silicone gasket around this. The silicone gasket will take overnight to cure. You get your face nice and clean shaved if you're a man, or if you have excess facial hair, whatever the reason for hair, it's got to go. It's got to go to seal. Then you're making a sealed mask. Being that the body's made out of duct tape, it's pretty much a sealed mask. It's as good as a lot of masks. It's as good as a military person that hasn't properly sealed their mask. So, I mean, you're just trying to do something to get by. Small air hole on the inside, larger air hole on the outside. Duct tape to make the mask, body. Then you can literally tear a strip, and I'm just going to be silly about this, but you're trying to survive. You got duct tape. You tear a piece of duct tape 2 feet long. You tear down that 2 feet long a half an inch strip, and you take that half an inch strip and you go from your corner piece of your mask back over your head. And you take the rest of that 2-foot strip and you take it from one side of the mask around your head to the other side of your mask. And you got the silicone gasket on there. You try to get as close to your face and as tight as your face as you can. Then you've got your hands free to move about and do what you need to do. You have a mask that might have cost you $10. Made from an old t-shirt, whatever one you can sacrifice, you still have material left to make at least 5 more masks with no problem. You got the water to make the charcoal, you burn you some more wood, make you some more charcoal, you can make more masks. This is just a simple, basic, get you by procedure. Not a fashion statement, and it's going to be there just to get you by. Like I said, this is the basics to get your filter. When that finishes drying out, which it will still air dry through those holes, then that filter, which is activated charcoal and the rest there, should do a good job. Now, if you want to compact your paste, you just move that charcoal paste material as it dries to the center of the mask. Take needle and thread, stitch up part of that mask, and then retape over it to limit the amount of area that that charcoal paste moves, tightening up the filtration of the mask. Again, this is just a basic mask. It's better than a bandana, and it may be useful enough to get you by. I made it from calcium chloride that was not the purest form, derived from ice melt material for sidewalks. You can also get calcium chloride from pool stores, which are probably not open. So hardware stores, auto parts stores. And the further south you are, the harder it's going to be to find it. I did find it on sale sitting on a shelf in the back of a store after asking for it and getting some very strange looks. I mean, it's 80 degrees. I'm asking for ice melt. I explained it to them. Enough to get by. Enough so they had an idea that might work for them if they need a mask. The best way is to stay away from people, probably. But if you need to go out and get supplies, you may look really, really weird, but you'll have a mask that's better than a bandana that actually may protect you a little bit, not just be a protection for other people. And I mean, it's redneck DIY, duct tape bandit, whatever you want to call it. It's cheap, and it's basic. But if you didn't have a mask, it's ahead of what you've got. You might have these materials around your house. So I hope everybody enjoyed the videos today. Charcoal filtered air mask activated with calcium chloride to potentially filter bad air. Going to have to do some modifications to the mask to make it work for you. Everybody's face is different. Every situation's different. This is a basic how-to just to get you by. I hope you liked my video.